The Memory of Mars by Raymond F Jones. A reporter should be objective, even about a hospital. It's his business to stir others' emotions and not let his own be stirred. But that was no good, Mel Hastings told himself. No good at all when it was Alice who was here, somewhere, balanced uncertainly between life and death. Alice had been in surgery far too long. Something had gone wrong. He was sure of it. He glanced at his watch. It would soon be dawn outside. To Mel Hastings, this marked a significant and irrevocable passage of time. If Alice were to emerge safe and whole from the white cavern of surgery, she would have done so now. Mel sank deeper in the heavy chair, feeling a quietness within himself, as if the slow creep of death were touching him also. There was a sudden far-distant roar, and through the window he saw a streak of brightness in the sky. That would be the tourist ship, the Martian Princess, he remembered. That was the last thing Alice had said before they took her away from him. As soon as I'm well again, we'll go to Mars for a vacation again, and then you'll remember. It's so beautiful there. We had so much fun. Funny, wonderful little Alice and her strange delusion that she still clung to, that they had taken a Martian vacation in the first year of their marriage. It had started about a year ago, and nothing he could say would shake it. Neither of them had ever been to space. He wished now he had taken her. It would have been worth it, no matter what its personal cost. He had never told her about the phobia that had plagued him all his life, the fear of outer space that made him break out in a cold sweat just to think of it, nor of the nightmare that came again and again ever since he was a little boy. There must have been some way to lick this thing, to give her that vacation on Mars that she had wanted so much. Now it was too late. He knew it was too late. The white doors opened, and Dr. Winters emerged slowly. He looked at Mel Hastings a long time, as if trying to remember who the reporter was. "I must see you in my office," he said finally. Mel stared back in numb recognition. "She's dead," he said. Dr. Winters nodded slowly, as if in surprise and wonder that Mel had divined this fact. "I must see you in my office," he repeated. Mel watched his retreating figure. There seemed no point in following. Dr. Winters had said all that need be said. Far down the corridor the doctor turned and stood patiently, as if understanding why Mel had not followed, but determined to wait until he did. The reporter stirred and rose from the chair, his legs withering beneath him. The figure of Dr. Winters grew larger as he approached. The morning clatter of the hospital seemed an ear-torturing shrillness. The door of the office closed and shut it out. "She is dead." Dr. Winters sat behind the desk and folded and unfolded his hands. He did not look at Mel. "We did everything we could, Mr. Hastings. Her injuries from the accident were comparatively minor." He hesitated, then went on. "In normal circumstances, there would have been no question. Her injuries could have been repaired." "What do you mean, in normal circumstances?" Dr. Winters turned his face away from Mel for a moment, as if to avoid some pain beyond endurance. He passed a weary hand across his forehead and eyes and held it there a moment before speaking. Then he faced Mel again. "The woman you brought in here last night, your wife, is completely unnormal in her internal structure. Her internal organs cannot even be identified. She is like a being of some other species. She is simply not human, Mr. Hastings." Mel stared at him, trying to grasp the meaning of the words. Meaning would not come. He uttered a short, hysterical laugh that was like a bark. "You're crazy, Doc. You've completely flipped your lid." Dr. Winters nodded. "For hours during the night I was in agreement with that opinion. When I first observed your wife's condition, I was convinced I was utterly insane. I called in 6 other men to verify my observation. All of them were as stupefied as I by what we saw. Organs that had no place in a human structure, evidence of a chemistry that existed in no living being we had ever seen before." The doctor's words rolled over him like a roaring surf, burying, smothering, destroying. I want to see. Mel's voice was like a hollow cough from far away. I think you're crazy. I think you're hiding some mistake you made yourself. You killed Alice in a simple little operation, and now you're trying to get out of it with some crazy story that nobody on earth would ever believe. I want you to see, said Dr. Winters, rising slowly. That's why I called you in here, Mr. Hastings.